What is up, guys? Today we've got another amazing trophy list review from one of you wonderful subscribers, and today we have got Laku13. Laku's tag is casual gamer, yet they have 7,452 trophies and 133 platinums, which is quite a lot for a casual gamer. 613 gold, 1,497 silvers, 5,209 bronze trophies. They have played 216 games, completed 104, which gives them a very impressive completion percentage of 69.4%. They're averaging 1.59 trophies a day, and they are in the top 400 of their country, which is Finland. So that is very impressive. So yeah, 133 total plats, 28 of which are ultra rares, and me and Laku share 11 platinums. So looking at some of their series that they've done, so there are 2 GTA platinums in here, 8 Call of Duty games, 5 racing related games, 3 Soulsborne games, 4 Uncharted games, and you're all gonna love this, 8 God of War games. So let's look at this trophy list. Alright, so starting off in 2011, nice and early, with a very impressive Motorstorm Apocalypse, which is rated at 6 out of 10. And then the original Dead Space, which is a great game. I've only played the remake. I think I was too much of a scaredy cat to play Dead Space at the time, even though all my friends loved it. But that is a very impressive one, and I think harder than the remake. I think this one's a bit of a harder platinum to get, but 5 out of 10, I think it should be a little bit more because it is an intense game. And then Borderlands, done in a month, very nice. And then a trilogy that I really want to play, and I'm trying to get a copy of on the Vita, which is the Sly Cooper games. So I like this one. The first one done in 22 hours, 54 minutes, very impressive. Second one done in 2 weeks, and then the third one in 2 months. And then we have the PS3 Ratchet Clank games, which are always very much loved games on this channel. We got number 2, Going Commando. Number 3, Up Your Arsenal. I love these names. These games are brilliant. And then here we get on to the first of many God of War games. So for this one, you've gone for Chains of Olympus, which you did very quickly. 3 days, 90 minutes. This must be quite a shorter game, rated at 10 hours and out of 3 out of 10. So I'm struggling to get a God of War game right now on my list, so I might have to try this. And then at the time of release, so December 2013, you platinum GTA 5 in 2 months and 2 weeks, which is really, really good. I don't know what the online was like when it first came out, but I'm sure there's probably lots of stuff to do. But yeah, that is very, very impressive to get that done so quickly and so early. And then on to God of War Ghost of Sparta, which I've heard good things about. Again, did that in less than a week. Gran Turismo 6 done in 2 weeks, even though it's a 5 out of 10, 45 hours, and obviously we'll have online trophies, so that is very, very nice to see. And then straight on to Dead Space 3. Maybe Dead Space 2 shows up later, but Dead Space 3, again rated at 5 out of 10, a bit longer than 1, so that is pretty cool. I do hope they keep remaking the Dead Space games, because the one they did this year was really good, looked amazing. It was a real proper remake, so I hope they do make number 2. And then Ratchet and Clank Into the Nexus, done in 1 day, 5 hours, very nice. I did see a copy of the Ratchet and Clank PS3 trilogy on disc in a secondhand game store recently, so I am hoping to pick that up because they just look fun platinums. And then Call of Duty Black Ops on the PS3. This was, I think, the Call of Duty I played the most. This was like when my friends encouraged me to go online. I really enjoyed this game. I think it has, as a platinum, it has obviously the veteran mode, single player. There's quite a lot of online trophies. There's a zombie section as well. So in terms of a Call of Duty platinum, it's got everything, and it's rated at 7 out of 10. I'm not sure about the 20 hours, but yeah, I don't think that can be done in 20 hours. Another Ratchet and Clank, beautiful, full frontal assault, again done very quickly, which just makes me want to get the PS3 games even more so. Infamous First Light, nice. I think that was the last Infamous game that came out. Done again very quickly. Hitman Contracts. This is a game I don't see very often. Normally we see Hitman 3, which I've got the platinum in, which was the last one they made. Now and again we see Hitman Absolution, but I haven't seen a platinum for Hitman Contracts on these trophy list reviews. So that is very good to see. I think it's possibly the most popular Hitman game. I remember when it came out, a lot of people loved it. But yeah, I am a big fan of the Hitman games, and I do hope they keep making new ones, especially after they revamp the series. Sly Cooper, Thieves in Time, nice. Then we got Prototype 2, Transistor on the PS4. Thief, which I didn't realize that was a PS3 game. I thought that was on the PS4. Maybe it's a remaster you got on the PS4. But yeah, this is a game that I do see now and again up for sale, and I do kind of consider it. I think it's a very straightforward platinum, so it's maybe one to definitely check out. Apotheon on the PS4, and then Lords of the Fallen. This is a game I actually picked up on sale not too long ago. It's one of these Souls-like games. I think it requires 3 playthroughs in the 3 different classes. And it looks pretty fun, looks good visually. But I'm not very good at these games, so it is one that I'm going to try. And I do believe, unless I've got the games mixed up, they've got a sequel or a reimagining coming out this year, and I think it's got the same name, Lords of the Fallen, I think, which is a bit odd, if I've got this right. So there's going to be a sequel coming out this year, which should be pretty cool. And then here we go, we've got Dead Space 2. Done in 1 week, rated 9 out of 10. So that is very impressive. There's some very difficult platinums on this list, and that is one of them. Then we've got Drive Club, Broken Age, Grim Fandango. Don't see that quite often on the trophy lists. Wolfenstein, The New Order, rated 6 out of 10, done very quickly in 5 days. This is one where you have to play on the hardest difficulty, and there's quite a lot of challenges that you have to grind through. So it might be like kill generals, kill 5 generals with a silenced pistol, kill soldiers with takedown, etc. So it's one of those games where when you find a good checkpoint to grind a few challenges, you kind of just keep restarting checkpoint and doing the challenges. I've been playing this on and off over the last year, and I hope eventually to get to it. I just play it for like a few hours every now and again where I feel like an FPS, but these are cool games, Wolfenstein for sure. Saints Row, Get Out of Hell, again done very quickly. Battlefield Hardline, 3 weeks, 4 hours, again done pretty quickly, especially for a game that I think has online trophies. Then we got This War of Mine, The Little Ones, Stories, Path of Destinies. There's a lot of good obscure games on this trophy list. I noted down a few that I'm definitely going to look into. So, which is why I love doing these lists. You get to see games that you don't think of playing or you don't know of. Then we've got, the PS4 Ratchet and Clank, which I absolutely love. Metro 2033 Redux, done in 2 days, which is very impressive. And it takes 2 playthroughs. These 2 Metro Redux games came up on PS Plus Extra and Premium, I think a month ago, and I have downloaded them. So I think I may look into playing these games, and the fact that you've done it so quickly is very, very encouraging. But they're cool games. First person shooter, really, really interesting world that they're set in. And then you've gone for Wolfenstein the Old Blood, which is a kind of, I think, a spin-off in between Wolfenstein 1 and 2, done very quickly again. I know it's not as long as the main games, but still 2 days, 3 hours. And again, rated 5 out of 10. And again, you have to do that on the hardest difficulty as well. And then you got For Honor, Hardware Rivals, Life is Strange. I see this one cropping up quite a lot. I think it's a narrative-based game. I don't think it's the most challenging. I think it's quite a good story as well. So very narrative-driven, which I think would be a nice break away from other more heavy gameplay-related games. I think this is one that if it's on PS Plus and I can get it for free, I'm going to definitely try it out as well. 1 out of 10, 10-hour platinum. I think you have to keep an eye out on the photographs. You have to take many photographs every chapter. Spy Chameleon. So I was looking into this. This is like I don't know how to describe it. A top-down kind of stealth game. Looks pretty cool. There's these different levels and you have to make sure you don't get seen. Hiding away from spotlights and enemies. And rated 5 out of 10, 10 hours, and you did it within 10 hours, which I think is always very impressive for a game that's rated at 5 out of 10. Then on to a very difficult platinum and infamous one, which is the Crash Bandicoot games. So you got 2, Cortex Strikes Back, rated at 6 out of 10, done very quickly. Laku does not hang around. Laku gets these games done very, very quickly. And then nice to see GTA San Andreas, one that you chipped away at over 2 years. Yeah, not my favorite GTA, but there's quite a lot to do in this platinum. It's a huge world. And then on to, the other redux of Metro. So you've done both. You've done 2033 and Last Light. This one, 4 out of 10, 28 hours. I think this one's a bit longer, but again, I think you have to do 2 playthroughs, possibly one on hard difficulty. And then you've done Infamous Second Son, which is a game I started, but I've not got really far into. It's one that I definitely need to clean up. Done again within a week. Call of Duty World War II, 6 out of 10, minimum of 70 hours, platinumed in a month and 2 weeks. Bravo. Very nicely done on that one. Horizon Zero Dawn, a platinum that I also have. A very kind of traditional PlayStation platinum, open world, loads of side quests, loads of collectibles, etc. Leveling up your weapons. It's kind of that kind of prototype of a platinum, open world platinum that you see with Spider-Man and Ghost of Tsushima, for example. Energy Cycle, 15 minutes, 15 seconds. I've seen this one come up a few times before. Arcade game series Pac-Man, that is pretty cool. I might have to add this to my list as well, because I think it'd be quite cool to have a Pac-Man Platinum. One of the kind of original OG video games that's so iconic. That is pretty cool. Definitely gonna have to look into that, and it's 3 hours. I could do with a 3-hour Platinum right now. Then we've got the iconic Platinum, My Name is Mayo. Square Boy versus Bullies. Orc Slayer, I know of this game. I think no relation to Lord of the Rings, but yeah, I know of that one. Until Dawn, I think that is another kind of narrative driven games as well that I'm definitely going to look into. Then we've got Slide. Slide is that game. Slide's another one of those infamous iconic platinums, which I think you can do really quickly if you use a guide, I think. So it's one of those where you flip pictures around and move them around to make a photograph or a painting, which to be honest is a good idea for a game, but I think you only have to do one to get the platinum in it. Jack and Daxter, the Precursor Legacy. So these games, the Jack and Daxter games, are now on PS Plus Premium and Extra, so possibly one to look into. They kind of fall into that Ratchet and Clank kind of genre for me, so definitely one that I want to try. I think this game is pretty straightforward. It just has one, not difficult, but I think tricky trophy. It's the racing one. You have like a you're on your hoverboard, I think. You have to just go through orbs or go through circles to keep the timer on or something. And I think it just can be a little bit tricky. And then a little back-to-back God of War session. So we've got God of War 3 Remastered, which a lot of people consider to be the best one. I think this one takes 2 playthroughs, rated 4 out of 10, 12 hours, and you got that done in a few months. Then on to the classic, beloved, possibly the most popular God of War, which you've done in 7 months and 3 weeks, which is nice to see. Probably maybe you took a break from the Valkyries and all the grinding that you have to do, which is what I'm doing right now. Call of Duty Modern Warfare. This has a really good campaign, where there's just a nice variety of levels and gameplay styles that you have to do. And it's probably the most easiest accessible Call of Duty Platinum. There's not one online or co-op related trophy. It's literally just the campaign on Veteran. I ended up doing it in like 2 days or something. One playthrough just on Veteran. It's really fun. I really enjoyed this one. And then on to an absolute banger of a Platinum, Bloodborne. So Bloodborne is a From Software game, infamously very difficult, rated at 7 out of 10. I think that could be much higher, 50 hours. There's 3, possibly 4 endings you have to get. There's a missable collectible where you have to talk to a certain NPC or something, but you could kill that NPC, so you have to like keep an eye out for that. There's loads of bosses. There's the dungeon chalices at the end. We have to go through and fight loads more enemies. So looks like a very cool game. A game that I tried for an hour and a half. I spent most of that hour and a half trying to learn how to equip a weapon, because that's what these games are like. They just throw you in the deep end with not much instructions. And I think I kind of struggle with that a little bit. But it is a very impressive Platinum. And it's a game I do want to go back to and try again. You can also summon your friends, so you can play it in co-op as well. And then Dirt 4, which is a very nice one to get, 5 out of 10, 70 hours. Then on to a game that I like a lot, and I've spoken about it in the past, and for some reason it just gets a lot of hatred. I don't know why, a lot of unnecessary hatred. But yeah, Days Gone. This was my 3rd Platinum, and like you, I did it within a week. I think I did mine in 6 days. This is a very good game. Don't be fooled by the reviews. My advice to anyone who's got this game or got access to it is to just go in with an open mind, try it, and don't judge it until you've done at least 5-6 hours of gameplay, because that's at first you feel very underpowered. The motorcycle is very hard to handle, but as soon as you start upgrading it, it's amazing to ride the motorcycle. It feels so nice to ride it around the open world. Yeah, very, very good game, very underrated. Rise of the Tomb Raider, which is the second one of the new modern trilogy. A game I started, but I couldn't get into, and quite a difficult one, because it has the challenge tombs, which you have to do at the end, and they have loads of different kind of challenges that you have to fulfill. But again, did that very quickly. If you like Uncharted, you'll like these games. Medieval, I know this is a very popular game on this channel. I see it on a lot of trophy list reviews. And on to one of our favorite game series of all time for sure. And you did 1 to 4 really just in this period right here, March to August. So we've got 1 and 2, 3, and then straight on to 4. I've said this before, I never get how 4 is rated as easier than 3 and 2. That's completely incorrect. 4 is comfortably the hardest Uncharted Platinum, like comfortably. But yeah, these are great games to play, especially if you're getting into trophy hunting. I think start off with number 1. It is great. I think with 1 you have to do 2 playthroughs. You have to do normal or hard, and then you can do crushing. You have to activate crushing, which is the hardest difficulty. The other games you can do it from the get-go. But yeah, really, really good game to get into. A little bit of speed run trophies here and there. A nice amount of collectibles, I think like 60 or 70. Nice combat related trophies. It's yeah, very, very nice game to get into for trophy hunters. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which was the last one that came out a few years back. And then Hades, which was a very popular game when it came out, and 6 out of 10, 50 hours. I know there's quite a big end game grind. So that is a very nice one. And then on to 2 absolute bangers again. So 2 more From Software games, and Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is a very serious platinum trophy. They're all rated at 7 out of 10. I'm a bit surprised. I thought Sekiro would be the hardest, maybe, from what I've heard. It's very different to the other From Software games, I think, the style of it and the style of combat, but it looks like a very cool game, but it looks like a very hard game. Not one I'm even going to try and attempt at all. Demon Souls, which I believe was the first ever From Software game, and they remade for the PS5, and by all accounts it looks amazing, plays amazing. I think you've got to do a couple of playthroughs in this game, or you can kind of save your game and go back and get different endings, etc. But yeah, a game that again, I tried I think an hour of it and I just felt very lost, but I think these games are games that you have to really invest in and just keep going until it clicks, as people say. Then on to The Forest, which I've got this right, is the survival game, which does look quite cool. And then Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, a game I've really struggled with. I finished it and didn't realize there's a bonus level that you have to complete for the platinum. So I need to finish that bonus level, which is on the aeroplane. I think it's trophy's called Mile High Club, I think. And then there's the training course that you have to do within a certain time. You have to do it absolutely perfectly, and I got bored of that. So this is a game I need to revisit because I've left it at like 70 something percent, which is so annoying. And then Dying Light. This is a cool game. Open world, first person, a lot of parkour. A really cool game. I tried it and just couldn't get into it. I didn't like the controls, which I should have changed because I think jump was R1 or something really odd, or just felt a bit unnatural to me anyway. But yeah, a game I should really go back and play for sure. Detroit Becomes Human. This takes a few playthroughs, I think, to get the platinum on, and is available on PS Plus if you have the PS5. And then Dead Island Riptide Definitive Edition. Neverwinter, which, look at that, 200 hours. That is dedication. That is a grind. Jack 2, which is rated at 5 out of 10, so much more difficult than the first one. And then another little God of War session. I like how you have these God of War sessions in between other games. So we've got the OG original God of War 2, and Ascension. Ascension again done within 3 days. So nicely done, very quickly. Miles Morales, nice to see. A good winter game, one that I need to still play. BioShock, this is a great platinum to see on a trophy list. I don't see this very often, so really good to see. A game that I loved when it first came out. It felt so fresh and like brand new. And then here you've done Miss Pac-Man. That's brilliant. So that's again arcade game series. I love it. Two Pac-Man platinums. That's awesome. Burnout Paradise, Monster Energy Supercross, and then another From Software game. So sorry, I made a mistake. I said you had 3, but you actually got 4. So sorry about that. And obviously last year's game of the year, the big one, the open world From Software game, Elden Ring, one that I do eventually want to get into. We've got Ratchet and Clank, A Crack in Time, Need for Speed Payback, Ollie Ollie 2, BioShock 2, very nice, very nicely done. Sniper Elite 3, I don't see one of these games very often. Sniper Elite looks like a cool game. Kind of reminds me a little bit of Hitman in some ways, but I think I'm waiting for one to come on PS Plus and I can just try it out for free and see if I like them. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, very impressive. Call of Duty Platinum, 70 hours, 7 out of 10. And then onto an absolute another banger of a Platinum. This one is so impressive. There's been so many already on this list, but yeah, this game rated 6 out of 10, which, sorry, it's not. It's way more than 6 out of 10, and 60 hours. This game is so hard. It's very well made. Very, very well made. It's a game where you go into these biomes. Each kind of level is called a biome, and there's 6 of them. And when you die, so I hope I can explain this properly. When you die and go back in, the layout of that level has changed. So it will be the same rooms that you recognize, but they're in different orders. And you pick up your weapons from chests, and it's total like RNG. So on one run, you could pick up a powerful shotgun or a really good pistol at a high level, or then you die and try it again and you just get a weaker weapon, or it's very, very hard. There are some collectibles that are RNG, which I think is a very bad decision. It just meant a lot of people had to grind it, but this is such a tough game. I can't even get past the first level. I can't get past the first boss the last time I played it. So yeah, very, very impressed to see this. And then Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, again on the PS5. So yeah, nicely done both. And then nice, a series that is one of the favorites on this channel, Resident Evil. So this is, I think, the first one on your list. Resident Evil 3, very nice to see. Probably takes about 4 to 5 playthroughs. End boss is quite difficult on the hardest playthrough, deceptively difficult. But yeah, a really good one, and a bit more action orientated than number 2. And then Conan Exiles, 7 out of 10, 50 hours, 7 Days to Die. And then on to an absolute banger. So Red Dead Redemption is one of my favorite, possibly my favorite PS3 game, definitely my top 5 or 6. I was looking into your trophies, and you got a lot of it done in 2022. So kind of, were you boosting the multiplayer trophies? Because it's funny, last year I was trying to collect the multiplayer trophies of Red Dead Redemption 1, and I found a group to boost with. So it'd just be interesting to hear if you can in the comments, kind of how you grinded up to level 50 and how you got some of the multiplayer trophies, because I'm trying to get those out the way, so then I know that the Platinum is safe per se, in the sense that if they shut down the server, I've got those trophies and I can just work on the single player. But yeah, Red Dead Redemption 1 is so good, and I would kind of love it if they remade it, or just kind of ported it to the PS4 and PS5. It'd be really cool. And then Assassin's Creed Odyssey, which is such a grind of a game. The map is so humongous and there's so much to do. I think 70 hours is generous. So yeah, nice to see that you got this and you chipped away at it over some time, over some years. Alan Wake 1, we just got announced that Alan Wake 2 is coming out in October of this year on the PS5, and controversial because there's no physical copies, it's digital only. Looks really good, gives me the vibes of Resident Evil, but yeah, I think I need to try this one. I think it takes 2 playthroughs, there's a few collectibles, but yeah, very interesting game. Then you got Battlefield 3, Astro's Playroom. Normally Astro's Playroom happens to be people's first PS5 platinum, but I love how you carried on platinuming other games first, like Returnal, etc. And then you came back and got Astro's Playroom. A couple of Crash Bandicoots, very nice to see. Deathloop, a game that completely confused me. I had no idea what I was doing and I gave up on the game. I'm not sure how you can get it in 20 hours. Maybe you can, but good to see that you did that, that you persevered with it. Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which was my last platinum, and all 100 trophies. So you did all the DLC. Very impressive. Yeah, decent game. I think 5 out of 10 is a bit generous, but yeah, you have to do it on the hardest difficulty, which, funny enough, the hardest thing in that difficulty is actually climbing, strangely enough, not the combat. Call of Duty World of War, 8 out of 10, yeah, 25 hours, but that is another very impressive COD Platinum on the PS3. And then onto one of my favorite games, Resident Evil 2. I absolutely love this game. I highly recommend it to people. It's a very fun game. It's a game when I started, I didn't think I could platinum, but the more you play it, the more you get used to the world and the game and the gameplay, you realize that it's actually quite achievable. So yeah, highly recommend it. On to another game of the year from last year, God of War Ragnarok. Done in 2.5 weeks. Very impressive to see, especially as it's much bigger than 2018 God of War. Callisto Protocol, I don't see this very often on people's trophy lists. I'm not sure why. It came out last December. Yeah, you did yours in 2 days, same as me. I did mine in two days. It's a really short game. I think that's the most disappointing part of it. It's a very good game, especially if you like Dead Space. It's a really, really good game, but it's very short. And quite a straightforward platinum. So if that's one that comes on sale or comes on PS Plus one day, I definitely recommend all of you guys to try it out. Ratchet and Clank, the original, on PS3. And then Black Ops 3, an ultra rare platinum, 100 hours, 8 out of 10, one that you've been chipping away at. Very nice to see. Rocket League, this keeps coming up. All you guys seem to love Rocket League. I love football, so I should maybe try Rocket League. And the fact that he did it so quick, I presume the multiplayer is very popular. But that is on my list of games to look into. Battlefield 1, and then a very difficult platinum. Ollie Ollie World, I think, is rated at 7 out of 10 and takes at least 50 hours. So that is another very impressive platinum. Hot Wheels Unleashed, very nice. That game looked really good. The graphics look so cool. I thought they did that game very well. Metro Exodus, which completes the trilogy, very nice to see. Just Cause 3. I've never played a Just Cause game, but they look absolutely nuts. It just looks insane. There's so much going on. So definitely one that I should try. Killing Floor 2, which I think is a co-op game. And then Ether 1, Battlefield 4, Minecraft. Nice to see a Minecraft platinum in here. It's shows what a versatile list this is. There's racing games, COD games, Soulsborne games, Pac-Man games, Minecraft. It's a very, very versatile list. And then onto a very sneaky, difficult platinum that I did some research on. So you got Flame Over, which is 7 out of 10, a top-down, kind of you're a fireman type game. And then this game, Binding of Isaac Rebirth on the PS4. Listen to these numbers. 9 out of 10 difficulty, 150 hours, 50 playthroughs. So it's like a top-down dungeon crawling kind of game. I don't know how to describe it. And you have to replay the game multiple times. I think like 10 times, but with loads of different characters. And there's obviously a lot. So you end up giving 50 playthroughs. And there's some very difficult end bosses and challenges, etc. So a game I didn't really know much about. But once I did some research, yeah, another very, very difficult, very impressive platinum. And then you did Control, another game I couldn't get into that I should maybe go back and try again in 2 years and 2 months, one that you chipped away at. And then your last platinum is Dirt 5, which I think was on PS Plus recently. So done in 3 months and 3 weeks, rated at 3 out of 10 and 25 hours. So I have to say, Laku13, you are way more than a casual gamer. You've got like 4 very serious From Software platinums. You've done Returnal. You've done the Binding of Isaac, Red Dead Redemption 1. So yeah, I think an absolutely amazing trophy list. Very, very versatile. Loads of amazing different types of games on there. So keep up the amazing work. Thank you for submitting your PSN for me to review. And as ever, if you guys want me to review your trophy list, please just subscribe to the channel, and in the comments of one of these videos, let me know your PSN profile name and make sure that you're registered on this website so we can review your trophy list. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. And if you're enjoying content like this, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you so much for watching, and take care.